Hey everybody, Jeff here.
Again.
And we are back to show you some games. Got some stuff that came in this nice tiny little package here. And instead of just like one small game, we actually got 5 games that fit in this little package. So what we've got, these are on Kickstarter right now, the Packle game from Chris Handy, is 5 boxes in these little, just slightly larger than gum-sized packages. 5 different games. And 4 of them are part of the initial Kickstarter. So we got Fly and Gem, TKO, and Hugh are part of the main Kickstarter. And then I've learned that Taj here that we got is actually the first stretch goal. Dogs. You're used to it. We've got dogs. That's her. That's one of them. That is not Megan having a bad stomach day. It's a dog.
It's life. Sorry.
It's life here at the Geek Compound. The other cool thing, though, is that these are not the only 5. There's an entire series that they've created. Same small box, same small card format. Used in a variety of ways that can be unlocked as stretch goals. So as this campaign goes on, you can get a lot more games for your money for your pledge. So it's kind of cool. So we're going to give you our initial impressions of these 5 games, starting with, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the one that you enjoyed the most. Fly! And actually, before we get into this, one of the other cool things, you can't really see it. Maybe we'll do a little bit of component stuff. We're not really going to go too much into gameplay because the other one of the cool things about these is on the website and on the Kickstarter page. They actually have like 3-minute tutorials, and that's really all you need for a lot of these to play. All of the instructions are basically single double-sided sheet using kind of the same format, so that's kind of cool once you kind of start getting used to it. So they do a really good job of showing you how to play all these things, but we will show you some of the components a little bit as we talk here. But one of the things on the back of these boxes, there's a 1, 2, or 3 die that they show. So the 1s are the more casual games up to the 3, which are the more involved games.
Which explains why I like the Fly.
Yes. So Fly is a 1-pip game. Which is a dexterity game, and it consists of, again, there are all these cool little slim cards. All the games consist of these cards for their game components, and in this case, we have dogs. And in this case, all of these guys make up the basically kind of like picnic table that is covered in flies. And the flies have different colors and shapes on them. So this one is kind of like a red star. And this is a, let's see, what else do we got here? Yellow circle, green diamond, all that good stuff. So these will get kind of set out in a grid. And then you've got your sky piece, which basically you fit onto the top here like this, and that just determines the minimum height you can drop your fly swatter from. Flies, fly swatter, sky, drop. And you're basically, if you can fully cover any flies you fully cover, you get to take those cards. And at the end of the game basically keeps going till there's actually 2 pieces of the table in here that are empty or blank. So once you're down to just those 2 blanks, you score your points. So the cool thing about the point scoring, though, is you do got to kind of, hopefully, it's a little bit of dexterity and trying to drop your fly swatter, but you got to be kind of strategic about it in a way because you don't get to score every fly necessarily. You've got to do sets of 3, either by color or by shape. So, you can have 3 plus blue, and then as soon as you hit that 3 mark, you'll get a point per fly. Or you can do like 3 stars, and then that's when you start getting points. So if you have 2 of something or 1 of something, you're not going to get points for it. You can use a fly, let's say you have the blue star. You can do all the blues, and then you can do a string of stars off the blue star, but the blue star is only going to count once, so you don't get to double count that fly. But it does help you create that 3+ of a set to keep getting points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. This one, let's see, I believe 2 to 4 players on this one. And like we've already established, this was Megan's favorite. So what did you like about this one?
The ease of it. I really liked it. It's just a fun, quick, casual game. I think it's for all ages. I could easily see this with kids playing this, or even when around families. If you have very competitive brothers and sisters like I do, it could be very interesting. But I thought the whole concept of the game pack of, the bubblegum shaped cards, and I think it's just really clever and easy. I like it.
Yeah, the entire series plays really well as quick anywhere type style games. They play anywhere from, most of them are 10 minutes, some of them are 20 minutes. There's one in the set that's is listed as a 30-minute game. They all play really quick. They all play, again, this is one of those where you need a little more table space, but if you're out to dinner with the kids or something like that, you can kind of set up the table space on it and do your, drop and pick up flies and thing. I mean, it plays quick, easy. All of these are easy to teach, easy to kind of learn. So that's cool. Fly is the dexterity. Again, this is the one of the 1-pip ones, so this is a little bit easier to pick up and teach, and can definitely be played with a younger crowd very easily. You're doing, and sets and color matching. You can't go wrong there when you're playing with younger kids. What?
You mean there's education involved?
Education.
Oh.
Just don't tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, there's no real, other than the person that needs to know how to play, going through the rule book. There's no reading and all that good stuff. It's just a nice little fun time to kind of play that dexterity element. So Fly was a very good one. We enjoyed that one. Again, that one was Megan's favorite.
Easy.
Which one should we go with next? Pick one.
I liked Hue. I thought that was a really interesting,
Hue. Yeah,
clever,
Hue.
puzzle type game.
Yeah, this one is a 2 to 5 player game, and it is very interesting in what it does. So you can see that the multicolor cards there. This one is striped out quite a bit. You have some that are more solid, and then you've got these cards that are poison cards. So you see the poison center one in the middle. And basically what your poison does, as so you get a starting spot, and then you start playing these out. You only get like a hand of 5, if I remember right. So you only get 5 of these cards, 5 or 6. And you've only got that hand to work with. So this is one of those 10-minute games, because you're not going to be drawing and refilling. You've got your 5 cards. Once you've played them all, you've played them all. So what this does is, you're trying to basically increase a continual line of colors that you're going to score at the end of the game. Playing, say, like this blue poison spot means any blue connected to it is worth 0 points. Now, the cool thing is, when you're playing these, you can either play them like adjacent to each other, or you can overlap them. So if somebody plays the blue and has poisoned the blue and you're trying to score blue, you do get to potentially overlap it if you want to, and you've covered up that poison spot. Now blue starts counting for points again. And again, you just keep doing this until you're out of cards. Until you have 1 card left in your hand. And that's the kind of cool thing that I really liked about Hue. You get to decide as you're going along what colors you're going to score. And right up until you play your last card and you only have 1 card left in your hand, you can switch out what colors you're going for. So it's one of those things you kind of, at least for me, when we were playing, I picked like 2 cards that I could go either way with, and tried to play to see how I could get points for those, and then make my final decision when I'm down to my last 2 cards. Did you do something similar to that?
No, I totally screwed up the first time we played through, and didn't really know exactly what the strategy thing was, and then I shot myself in the foot because I was keeping the poison, thinking I was gonna counter him, and it ended up hurting me, so it was just bad. Yeah. I need to play again. But I think overall it was very clever.
If you keep your poison card to score, you just basically ignore the poison, and those are the colors you score. So what you do is your last card, your top and bottom color are going to be what you get like 1 point for area, I believe, and it's the middle one is like 2 points. So your middle color is the one that's going to potentially earn you more points, but you've got 3 colors that you can score. If you've got something like this, which this multicolor one, that's actually one of the starting spots I showed you earlier. But you'll have ones like this in your hand where it's striped. It's the same thing except you're going this way. So the 2 outer ones are your less points, and your one in the middle will be more points. And again, when you're playing these out, you can overlap. So you can overlap an entire square. You can overlap a third. Or you can just play them side by side. And again, you get down to your final piece there and add up your points, and whoever has the most points wins. Again, this one going in was actually one that I didn't know what I was going to think of it, and I actually really kind of enjoyed it. And that whole aspect of figuring out how you're going to score your points right up until your last card really kind of sat well with me, and I liked that flexibility while also kind of trying to manage your hand for your points. I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that one. All right, so Gem. Should we go with Gem? Gem! Truly outrageous!
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. This is a 3. Suppose we didn't say Hugh was a 2 pip. So this is a 3 pip. This is the 30-minute one, the Gem one. It's 2 to 4 players. So this is kind of a auction resource management game, which is kind of cool. So everybody starts with some coins. So you get a 1, 2, and a 3 in coins. And this is what you get to do your bidding with initially. And what you'll be bidding on as time goes on are these gems. So you got things like this guy here, which is 2 gems, 2 different color gems. And then you've got a red number up here and a green number here. And then you've got ones that are just like a single gem. Some that are double of the same type of gem, that kind of thing. And as you go on, so you'll flip them up, and you're basically bidding for pick. So you're not bidding for a specific gem, because so many of them will be turned up each round. You're bidding for your pick of the gem that's left on the table, and you keep going until all of the gems in that round are done. This is not a bid rebid kind of game, which is kind of an interesting thing as well. So like I said, your first round you've got your 1, 2, and 3. So I mean, you can go all in and say I'm doing 6. That uses up all your coins. You can say I'm bidding 1. Combination of this for your 3, or do this for your 3. I mean, however you want to mix and match these 3 coins, but they're one use per round and done. So sometimes, and you can win with a 0 bid. You can say I'm bidding 0. So sometimes what you do is like, if Megan's already used her 1, I can say 1, because now she's got to make up her mind, does she want to spend her 2 or her 3? And is that worth it for her right now, or does she want to save that for later? Or I could say 2 to try to force her to use her 3, that kind of thing. But if I just come out with 1 and she goes, okay, I'm doing 2, well, she gets it. So that's the other thing. It's like, are you really setting up? Are you bidding what you're willing to bid and be outbid on? And trying to get your opponent to use up some of their coins. And then, as you start winning these, they come to you with the red side up, which, they've got numbers on them, 1 through whatever. And that's the cost to turn them to their green side. And the green side is usually worth at least 1 more coin, which these end up kind of becoming coins for you. So then you can start using these to bid. Now, your coins at the start of every turn come back to you automatically. So you get all 3 of your coins back. Gems only come back if you pay the red cost. So you got to manage that. and decide, like, you know, do I need this gem and what it's worth more than this gem? Do I want to, you know, do I want to save some of my money to convert? That's the other thing too. I mean, if you're trying to run your opponent out of money, you gotta, you know, they might be like, no, I'm good because I'm saving this to convert the ones I've already bought into more money for next round. So it's a nice little balance factor. And then the other cool thing too is you got to balance at the very end of the game. You only get to score the gems that you have green side up. So you're doing kind of set collection there, and you get points per every gem, and then most of gems and all that kind of stuff. But you only get them if you've converted them back over, if you've leveraged them. So that's kind of interesting too, because that's again another balance you got to do. End of game, what's going to get me the most points? You might go ahead and take a gem out of commission for you for scoring because something else might get you more points, stuff like that. So a lot of interesting things going on in this one. What do you think of this one?
I like this one. This one's a little bit more complicated than the others, so I think it might be a little bit more difficult for younger kids. But I think again, given the range and variety of the games involved, they obviously can't have just all easy games. I think this was a nice, almost intro to a little bit more complicated strategy involved, so I liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one too. I think we both would have liked to have had at least a third person at the table. That's just kind of with any auction bidding style. But even with that, it worked really well. Like I said, because you're always doing that. Do I really want to outbid? And the fact that it's a single bid is kind of nice too, because it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm out. It wasn't that. It's like, here's my bid. Oh, you're over me. Okay, well, I guess you get it. And doing that balance between I need coins later to make gems valuable for me for the next round, all that stuff is very well done. It's a cool auction set collection-y style game. I really enjoyed that one a lot. TKO. Let's go TKO next. This is a 1 pip. And this is basically a battle. So it's fighting for a technical knockout. So each person will get a head and a body for a fighter. So I've got, like ginger ale here. And there are cards that go. So there's like a body block, a body blow, a head block, and an uppercut. So each person gets one of these, and they have a corresponding spot with point markers on here. And it's the first person to win a round is going to be the first person that gets one of these up to 5. So every time you get either you've successfully blocked a blow that was, like if I do an uppercut, Megan does a head block. She successfully blocked my uppercut. She'd get a point. If I do an uppercut, she does a body block. My uppercut got through. I get a point. If we both do uppercut, nobody gets a point. Stuff like that. And it's the first person to get their one section of up to the 5 wins a round. First person to win 2 rounds. So it's a 2 out of 3 style thing, and they get the TKO champion belt. No, all right.
Sorry to bring it to you.
And so how do we determine? And this is a 2-player game, by the way. This is strictly a 2-player game. Comes with lots of fighters to choose from. And they do have like different point values, but at the end of the day, it's getting them up to 5. But you get these little cards to determine secretly, if you will, and you choose simultaneously which thing you're doing. So if you're doing a block or a blow, is it an upper, is it a body blow, that kind of stuff. And so it's 1, 2, 3, kind of thing, and see where. So it's rock paper scissors, just a different style for rock paper scissors. What did you think?
I thought it was a fun little game, 2-player game. It's rock paper scissors, lizard, no Spock, I guess.
Yeah, rock paper scissors, lizard,
with an extra.
Because there's 4,
element, but
yeah, and didn't get Spock.
And I think the artwork is actually pretty cute. I mean, it's the little guys. It reminds me of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Yeah, so there's part of it that's you sort of want to do the throw. Exactly.
Body blow, body blow.
Childhood memories.
Left hook.
But yeah, so that's what I enjoyed it for a fun little game.
Yeah. This is probably my least favorite just because, I mean, it's kind of well documented at this point. Rock, paper, scissors type style games aren't my favorite. That said, it's not a bad game. I agree. The artwork is very cutesy, cartoony, which lends itself really nice. And just because this isn't my style of game, this is one, again, it's a 2-player game. This is one I can totally see pulling out with a kid at a restaurant or, say, going out for ice cream or something like that, and you're sitting at the table and you're waiting. Bam. Doesn't take up a ton of room. You're doing the rock, paper, scissors thing. I mean, even between the two of us, we were giggling and having fun and just kind of thing. And it was enjoyable. Just not my typical style game. But I see the merit in it. And again, for what they're going for overall, this is a great addition. I mean, something like this, you can throw in your pocket, your purse, whatever, and have with you at any time. You can stop breaking Applebee's crayons. Start playing some games around the table. All right.
Yeah.
And then Taj. Taj is another 3-pip one. Again, this is the stretch goal, the first stretch goal one. And this one is kind of interesting too. I really dig this one. So it's, you're going to have a bunch of these rugs, which have 3 colors to them. So your middle color is going to score the most, and then least out as you kind of come out. And then the only rugs that score are the 3 that end up at the end of the game underneath the Taj Mahal here. And then there's one spot that's a +1, so everything on that rug gets +1 point. And then you kind of everybody secretly has one of these style cards, and they're all different, that tells you what your points are. So, for instance, and this is a little bit different than, say, like Hue, where it was like, more points on the outer, or less points on the outer, more on the inner. This is the one you're going to score like ×2. This is the one you're going to score ×1. And then this guy here actually scores me -1. So I'm trying to avoid orange being in the Taj Mahal at all, because that's going to give me negative points. And again, these are kept secret. And then everybody has a yay or nay card and a nix and all card. The yay or nay is used over and over again. Again, this is you're doing some voting. And your nix and all is a one-time use for one of the sides. So if you do an all, you're saying, you're basically saying this is going to count as a unanimous yay. If you do nix, you're saying this counts as a unanimous nay. And unanimous lets you adjust the Taj Mahal where it is, or flipping it so the +1 is somewhere else, that kind of stuff. And all the rugs have a kind of blank side and then a curator eye icon on the other side. And once you either are down to only 5 rugs left, or all the rugs have been flipped so that the curator symbol is towards the Taj Mahal, basically all the rugs have been inspected and checked out. It's going to end the game, and you score the points based on the 3 rugs in the middle. So there's a little bit of bluffing involved with this one. There's some voting, maybe some negotiation with more people. And again, your secret colors that you're trying to manipulate to be the 3 rugs that are underneath the Taj Mahal. Let's see, this one goes to 4 players. This is one of the 20-minute games, and does come with a nice little reference thing as well, because you need to know what happens if a yay wins, a nay wins, or if you have a unanimous, all that good stuff. What did you think of this one?
This one was my least favorite, not because of the style or anything. It's just because this one's a little bit more complicated, and I think being that we played it with 2 players, the voting thing just didn't work out, I think, as well as it could with more players. So I think if we played it with 3 players, maybe a second time through, I would definitely like it better. But I think overall, again, given what they're trying to, the pack of games, if this is the most complicated one, you need something like this to do the variety pack. So I think overall, I think it's a good addition.
Yeah, I really did like this game. This was another one, I mean, just reading the rules, you actually had to kind of start playing it. Once we started playing it, I liked what was involved with it. I liked the... Because basically you pick two rugs to say, I want these two to switch places, and that's where the vote comes in. You're yay or nay. Yes, I want that to happen. No, I don't want that to happen. And majority rules and all that good stuff. Which, with the two players, it's always going to be unanimous, or it's just going to be a tie, and you just flip their icons up and all that stuff. But where it gets kind of interesting, to me anyway, and yeah, it would have been nice to have at least one more player around the table just because of the voting aspect. But the thing I kind of liked is, what am I trying to accomplish, or does Megan understand what I'm trying to accomplish when I'm doing what I'm doing? Because that's where you kind of get some of that bluffing in. Is like, do I really want these two to switch places, or am I hoping for the unanimous nay? Because I did that a few times. I picked two things that I didn't care. I didn't actually want them to switch. But if on a unanimous nay, the farthest one away from the Taj Mahal gets taken away. So it just gets completely removed. So your choices for switching and all that good stuff kind of start to get limited a little bit. And you're trying to eliminate the ones that aren't going to do you any good, that are really bad for you to have on the table. So you do some of that. You do some, I really want this to switch, all that kind of stuff. And all of that really, I mean, the thing I would say, especially the 3-pip games, there's an amazing amount of depth and strategy in such a small package. I mean, this is the quintessential micro game. I mean, you're getting a lot of game and a lot of play out of such a small thing, and a universal thing, because all of these games are going to be this style card, and they're going to be tokens or tiles or cards, or I mean, they're universally using them, but they're all going to be this style game. And the fact that they've come up with so many games using this was their template, and they're actually solid games that are fun to play, and like I said, even like the 3-pip ones are like, wow, I've got to think about this a minute. What do I want to do here? And, getting that strategy level in. This is amazing to me. This is awesome. This is a great set of games. So again, this is on Kickstarter right now. I would definitely go check it out. And for anything, if anything else, I checked out the Kickstarter earlier today. They do have a bunch of those 3-minute learn videos up. Other people have reviewed the games. So, this is just our quick initial impressions of each of these games. I definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth the package price. And again, as stretch goals get unlocked, which I don't see that necessarily being a problem, you're going to get more games added in for the price you pledged at. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely something to keep on hand. Anything else?
I think one thing I keep mentioning too about this whole idea is, if you travel at all with kids, and especially if there's any times in airport, this is like the perfect pack of games, because one, it's super light, it's super easy to carry along with you. But if you ever have that hour where you're sitting at the gate, you literally could sit down and throw any of these games in a small area and get it done and entertain the kids. And again, with the variety, any age group, I think each kid, I travel a lot with several kids, and it's always, each kid, I could see each one having a specific favorite game, and then each person could get a game in, and it makes traveling with kids so much easier.
Easy to split them up.
Exactly.
Multiple games can kind of going on because you don't need a ton of table space.
Exactly.
It's amazing. If this was out prior to this coming Gen Con, last year for like Cyrus and I, when we decided to do the micro contest over at the Game Crafter, this is because one of the things that inspired us to do that is because everybody was playing Love Letter everywhere. Pubs, hotel lobbies, everything like that. Some of these games I can totally see that next year. And I would see it this year if this would have been out by Gen Con. Because, again, there's some great games and great strategy in some of these games, and for little table space. So, again, great micro game, and I'm just amazed at what they came out of with a set template and how many games they came out with a set template. All right, so there you go. That is what we think of Paco Game. And again, it's on Kickstarter right now. There will be links in the description and all that good stuff, and I'm sure I'll put one on the video here as well. Chris Handy has got an awesome product here. I'm glad we got to take a look at it, and I really highly recommend that you guys go take a look at it as well. Thanks a lot.
Bye.